morning, everybody. Welcome back to Fox's Best Laid Plans. Welcome back to another weekly vlog. I am your host, Fox. I'm really tired right now. It's Thursday morning. It is about 6:45, and I have a lot on my plate today. Today, my dad is getting discharged from the hospital. And I do have a video that I filmed yesterday that explains this more in depth, but I wanted to do an intro before I got into some heavy, serious, and sad shit. So here's the intro video to lead into that. I am going to be staying with him, I don't know how long, for the indeterminate future. So I have a lot to do today to get ready to go over there. So I'm going to make my to-do list. Having my little cup of coffee here. Don't spill it. Having my coffee. Make my to-do list. And it's going to be a hot one today. It's going to be in the 90s. So I do need to go for a walk. Get my walk out of the way. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that earlier this morning rather than later. I don't know what time Dad's coming home. You know, the hospital's a little bit unpredictable. Sometimes they want to keep you till the evening. Sometimes they send you home earlier. I don't know. I haven't heard from anybody yet. So we'll see once I get that information. But I have a couple videos to edit and I have to get packed up. I just was downstairs tidying the kitchen and I want to do the laundry. I've been putting it off because if you didn't watch last week's vlog, I had my gallbladder out 1 week ago today. 1 week ago today I was at the hospital. So I had my gallbladder out 1 week ago, and so I'm still easing into certain things, and anything related to abs is one of those things that I'm supposed to be trying to, not push myself. And so I haven't done laundry because just the folding and bending and things like that to do the folding. Yeah, so, but I need to do it today because I'm going to be gone for however many weeks. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect right now. But it's going to be a long-term, relatively long-term in the terms of things kind of thing. It's not just I'm going over there for a couple days, if that makes sense. So, gonna work on the to-do list, get myself ready. I mean, I can stop back here, obviously, 25 minutes away. It's not that huge of a deal. But, just planning for being there. So I'm gonna get started on my to-do list and see how much I can get done before I go over there. I have a spooky weather report outside here. I don't know if you can even see. It is really, really windy out here. Lightning, and the power has flickered twice. So I love it. Thanks, I love it. My favorite thing. This is really scary right now. I've never seen it this bad out there. This is the worst storm I've seen. Okay, it's slowing down. I blew out my candles because I was what if a tree falls in the house? Okay, we're good. Hello everybody, it's Friday morning and I just had my follow-up appointment with my surgeon and he said everything looks good, it's healing really well. I am cleared for light exercise, so that means I can run. Yay! I just can't, I still can't lift. 3 more weeks of no lifting anything heavier than, like I said, like a gallon of milk. So, since I was in the same building as where my dad is right now, I went in and said hi to him. I brought him a chocolate milk because he loves his chocolate milk. And I just visited with him for a little bit, but they're getting him up and getting him a shower this morning. And he's gonna come home this afternoon, hopefully. So that's good. He had a lot more energy today. He's still like a little confused, but he was very chatty and very awake and alert. The last couple times I visited with him, he's just been, very tired and doesn't really want to get out of bed. But he was, he can't really get out of bed right now. He doesn't have the strength to get out of bed, but he's at least like sitting up and chatting. He was super excited that I brought him chocolate milk. That like made his whole day. I came in, he was eating his breakfast and he was like, oh, chocolate milk! So, he's still enjoying stuff. So, and he kept saying like he's, coming home to see the puppy tonight. He can't wait to see Layla. So, my husband and I are both going to be staying with them. It was just going to be me, and then husband would come over like on the weekends, but I can't lift. And my mom doesn't really have very much strength, so we need somebody else who can like lift to help my dad get up out of bed when he wants to get out of bed. So we're gonna get husband set up with like a work from home situation, and we'll both be staying over there with the dog. It's gonna kind of suck to drive back and forth to where I work, because where I work is about 25 minutes from my house and it's about 45 minutes from their house, so that's gonna kind of suck going back and forth from that. But you know what, we gotta do it. And it's not really, wouldn't be practical to have him at our house because we have everything's on the majority of stuff is on the second that we do is on the second floor, so he really can't, he has to be on the ground floor. So yeah, so that's the update on Dad. And I am at Home Goods because there's a Home Goods right by the hospital. I have to go to the grocery store because I'm out of food. That's why we went out to dinner last night, because we were like out of food, and I was like, my grief was manifesting in such a way yesterday that I was just like, I need to get out of the house. Like, if I'm in the house, it's just making me like feel claustrophobic. So I was like, let's just go out to dinner. Well, it was like really hard to find anywhere to go to dinner because lots of places close at 9, and I wanted to attend Lakin's silent co-working session because I like love that. I look forward to that every single month, and so I didn't want to like miss that. And I was like, oh, well, we can get this one place that we really like. It's Restaurant Week, which I totally forgot about. We haven't done Restaurant Week very much in the last few years, but it's Restaurant Week, so they were having this like great special, and I'm like, oh, we should go over there. And it said they had reservations at 9:15. I'm like, well, that's a little bit late to have dinner, but like that's the time that'll fit our schedule. And then went to make the reservation, and I was like, let me just check with them because that seems late and weird. And so we called them, and they're like, oh no, our last reservation's at 8. I was like, well, we're never going to make it there by then. So we ended up going to floor 2, which you saw. The food was really good. It just wasn't like anything that I was like in the mood for. I was like in the mood for stuff that I saw on other menus that were not open. So yeah, but it was good. It was really good. They had a DJ, which we could kind of hear from where we were seated. They were like in the bar area. But food was good, and it was like just neat because we were sitting there and you could see outside. You could just see the lightning like the whole night. Like, it was literally 6 hours of storms last night. Like, I went to bed around 11, I think, by the time I actually like was trying to go to bed, and it was still going, and it started at 7 and it went like into the middle of the night. So it was crazy. I mean, like, last night when I was in bed, the thunder was like shaking the house, so it was wild. But anyway, I told you that story because we have no food in the house, because normally Thursday is my grocery day, but since I thought we were going to my parents' house yesterday, I didn't get groceries, so now I have no groceries. I couldn't even have breakfast yet this morning. So I'm gonna go to the grocery store, which is between like the hospitals here and then the grocery store and then home, but in between those is Home Goods, and I've never been to Home Goods. So I'm gonna go for the first time because all the YouTubers that I follow that go to Home Goods have been sharing some like really nice stuff. So let's see. I have to stop at Kohl's too. Fuck. At least I'm feeling well enough to be out and driving. Like, when I was driving on Wednesday when I came to see my dad at the hospital, I like did not feel good driving. It was like, I should not be in the car right now. And I'm actually feeling okay right now, so that's good. The way that the seatbelt goes, it goes right across one of my incisions, and it's now like just the difference of 2 days. It feels much more comfortable than it did. I'm still not wearing a bra because it's 2021. We don't wear bras anyway. I mean, come on now. But also, like, that's gonna rub against the incision. So I'm then headed to Home Goods and see what there is. But I'm sorry, this makes me think of that guy on TikTok who goes to his basic white sister's house and reads her signs. I'm cracking up. Talk me out of these bowls. I don't need them, but I want them. I mean, you could make a waffle, but you could then make a minion waffle instead. I don't think I need this, but it's very tempting. But Layla Grace definitely needs this, right? Definitely. I mean, look at these. It's like, oh yeah. Swing around, have a nice time. She would freak the fuck out. Never mind. Never mind. Let's see what other dog stuff they have. Nice blankets. Some bowls. Well, that's cute. I mean, that's really cute. We might need that. Look at this little dish that has a hedgehog on it. She needs that. For sure. For like, you know, her outside bowl, right? Can we take this outside? Dishwasher safe. She loves hedgehogs. It's her birthday. She needs that. Yeah, okay. Alright. I'm in. I love my dog. I do love my dog. Yeah. Got some cute stuff here. I like it. Coming around the side here, and I thought that said felony. Y'all, decisions were made. I want to say they were good, well thought out, informed decisions, but I bought a bag of popcorn called Corn Fusions. Yeah, and the sweet older lady who was working there was like, honey, you should apply for a card. You would save some money today if you applied for the credit card, and then you would get money back every time you come back. And I was like, I think that's a bad idea. I think I have to know my limits. I think. My limits do not include. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten breakfast yet. So I'm gonna eat this whole bag. Go to the grocery store. No, it was cute. There was so much cute stuff. It's like, it kind of has like a thrift store vibe to it, which I like, where it's like a bunch of random stuff, like one or two of a bunch of random things. It's like, flea market, kind of flea market style, you know, one or two items of each design. So like, if you like it, get it. So I got some cute soap. I don't know what it smells like, but it was cute, so I got it. There's a lot of Rae Dunn. I guess Rae Dunn, this is her place. I'm gonna be evicted from the Planner YouTube channel here, the Planner YouTube community here. I don't really like Rae Dunn. I don't like care for it. It's just not my thing. You know what? I did see a cute dog bowl that said nibble. I like that. That was cute. But what I really wanted, though, the reason I went here is because I wanted to get a nice Halloween or autumn themed coffee mug. And there really wasn't anything. There was like a couple that were clear coffee mugs, and I don't like clear coffee mugs. I don't know why. It's just weird to me. It makes me think of when you go to brunch and you get an Irish coffee. I know, that's my brain. So I don't like clear coffee mugs. I like dark coffee mugs, or solid coffee mugs, but I do prefer like dark colors too. So we're still on the hunt. We got the Kohl's to go to. I just want to go home. I have so much to do before we head over to my parents' house, and I don't know when it's all happening. And here I am at Home Goods just buying. I didn't need any of that shit. Can your grief manifest as like retail therapy? I think it can. Can we talk about grief as retail therapy? Because I think maybe that's 2 more stores. 2 more stores. We came out for our nightly mile walk, and all of a sudden a storm decided to roll in, so I have some regrets. I mean, nothing's happening yet, and we might beat it, or we might hate ourselves. It's a little spooky. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hey everybody, not the update that I wanted to bring, but we are on our way to the hospital. Dad was supposed to come home today. We had the house set up for him to have a hospital bed and wheelchair, try to get him comfortable at home. He had a decline overnight, and so now I think we're going to be moving him on to hospice today. And then I don't know how long we have. So we'll see. Going to visit him right now, and we'll be there, most of the day. They did do an extra approval since it is end of life. That husband's allowed to come in because the hospitals here have a 2-visitor limit because of COVID. And they can thankfully make an exception in this case. So that's one nice thing, is that husband will be there too, because he hasn't been able to see my dad in a few weeks. So not how I thought my day was going to go. It's been rough. Also earlier today, about a couple hours ago, I used to attend a ceramics class regularly on Wednesdays and Saturdays in Ambridge. Miss Helen is the one who owns the ceramic shop, and she's a beautiful artist and just good human. And one of the girls from the class called me to let me know she passed away this morning. So August 14th can just fuck right off. Yeah, so that's the update. I just, in my effort to be transparent and talk about the process of grieving and end of life, I thought it was important to make sure that I do check in right now. Husband's driving, so but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we'll see. So I'll keep everybody posted. Yep, main entrance. Yep. Okay, ready. Let's see, can you go in the door? There she is. Good girl. You see your grandpa? Yeah. Good girl. You did so good. Good girl. You're so good. What are you doing, huh? What are you doing? Layla. Good girl. Hi, everybody. It's Sunday, around 1 p.m. I'm leaving the hospital. We are waiting for a transport to come get Dad and bring him home. He's had a decline. I think I mentioned that yesterday. He's had a decline in the past couple of days. He's more confused. He was really agitated when we just saw him now. So, content warning, I'm going to be... Hold on, my Bluetooth is acting weird. Content warning, I'm talking about death and dying, but I think that's a content warning for my channel all the time, so maybe I don't need to say that. We are looking at the final days to maybe a week or 2 weeks. I don't see that being likely, but he was very agitated. We're hoping that he's very disoriented right now, and we're hoping that having him at home will help with the disorientation a little bit. At the very worst, I don't think it's going to make it worse, but maybe being in a familiar environment. So overnight, I guess he was dreaming that one of the doctors made him join the Navy, and so he kept thinking he at first thought that he had to join the Navy and went to the war and was put in a concentration camp, and then he is thinking he's back on the ship now. He said they had him in the concentration camp all night, and now they've put him back on the ship, and he kept asking if we were still out to sea or were we docked, and I just said we were docked, and that helped. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I am not, as much as it pains me to say this, I'm not very well trained in end-of-life care. I just kind of know what I read. So I wish I was better at this, but you know, how does one get better other than practice? And here I'm gonna practice. I joke because humor is how I deal with things, and it always has been. I actually got in trouble for that in high school. We'd have an IEP, which is like those where they do report on your behavior and your level of giftedness and all that bullshit when you're a kid, and they talked to your parents, and they said, Jennifer deals with her emotions by making humor out of it. And I said, fuck yes I do. Who the hell cares? If that's your coping mechanism, then that's your coping mechanism. I mean, I have a variety of coping mechanisms now after years and years of therapy, but yeah, I was supposed to be more serious as a child. Who cares? Anyway, I am going to make dark humor jokes because that helps me, and it might help somebody else, and we can't take ourselves too seriously, right? Anyway, I'm going to head back to the house. Husband is heading there as well. He went to visit his parents today. And then we're going to drive back to our house, and we're just going to get some things. We didn't know last night what was going to go on or what the plan was. We're a little bit nervous about having Dad at home because he is a fall risk. He's going to have somebody with him 24/7. You know, one of us goes to the bathroom, the other one has to be in the room, that kind of thing. It's not going to be, you know, sunshine and daisies, but it's just my personal feeling is I would prefer, if it were me, I would prefer to die at home. And that's what he said today. We talked to the doctor, to the hospitalist, who, y'all know I have complained about hospitalists before in my life because hospitalists are known for not having a good bedside manner. But there's one here at the hospital who has seen my dad a lot over the last month and a half or 2 months, and he's been really, you know, he's still very businesslike. He doesn't really have the whole empathy thing down to an art form. And I actually like complimented him and was like, I just want to thank you for being a great hospitalist with my dad all this time. I know it's like not an easy job, but I trust you because you have been here through consistently for him, and I appreciate that. And he was just like, so they don't know how to do empathy and they don't know how to take compliments, but he's been a great hospitalist, all things considered. Yeah. So we've been so fucking blessed with the care that we've received at this hospital. It's been wonderful. So that's the update. We're going to be just, staying with my parents for as long, and then staying with my mom for how long she needs us. And I'm going to try my hardest not to just run away to the desert when he goes. I'm going to try to really block my browser from ultrasignup.com after Dad goes. Sorry, I just need a little bit. I joke. But because I joke to deal with my emotions. In humor, why not, right? Oh, every time I think about that, I get angry. And the teacher who said that stuff about me, a friend requested me on Facebook like a couple years ago, and I was like, no, now you want my humor? Now you want to see my funny and clever things that I post on Facebook? No. Anyway, I have a die mad about it story that I will tell before the end of this week, but I won't tell right now, but I will die mad about this. Yeah, anyway, so okay, that's the plan. Gonna go get the stuff, get the things. We're gonna eat some groceries so we can have dinner tonight. Dad still has a good appetite, and his doctor today thinks like they could be affected by the steroids, because I was like, I didn't think end of life he wanted to eat, and he's like, well, he's been on steroids for the swelling. So he's not actually on hospice just yet. He's gonna come home and do a couple days of home care, and then probably move to hospice this week. We're not looking at, long term right now, so it sucks. It sucks a lot. I don't recommend cancer to anybody, and I especially don't recommend brain meds, because brain meds are a whole fucking other beast. It's one thing for your body to shut down and be weak and you can't breathe or walk and those kinds of things, but when you start your brain to deteriorate, it's really hard. He was angry when we came in, like, why did you take so long getting here? And we're like, because we were fucking doing shit to try to get the house ready for you to come home. But he doesn't, Then he was like, oh, well, you would not believe what happened to me, and had this whole story. He has a hard time. His nightmares seem like they really happened, and he has a hard time right now between the two. So it's hard. It's really hard. And my mom's like, no, that's not right. But it's hard to convince him of stuff, and we just kind of have to, like, it was not helpful when he kept saying, like, are we docking today? Are we docking today? Or is the ship going to just stay out on the ocean? It wasn't helpful in that moment to say to him, we're not in the boat, we're at the hospital. But when I said, oh, we just docked, we're docked right now, that was like, okay, well, cool. Well, can I have something to eat? Like, I don't know. It's going to be, we're going to learn as we go. We're going to have nurses to come and help sometimes. I have 2 more days off of work, and then I go back on Wednesday. And it's just because I had to take a leave for my surgery. I don't really have the ability to take a leave right now, but husband is able to work from home, so he'll be home during the day, and then I'll be home in the evenings and the early mornings, and we'll see what we have, and hopefully being home will be, calming for him, and that will be a stable, thing. We just have to make sure, because the nurse said that he was trying to get out of bed all night, and he was super restless and agitated, and I don't know, if he continues with this agitation, then that's gonna be, hospice will come in faster, and we can get him some stronger meds for the agitation. So, but maybe being in a familiar place with consistent, like, surroundings. I mean, he's been consistent surroundings. He's been in the hospital for a week, but You know what I mean? We'll see. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking because his husband's waiting for me and I told him I'd be there. But I just wanted to give the update while I was still by myself, and so I wasn't like just talking in front of, you know, a husband's driving instead of talking to him. So I will continue to post updates because I don't know. I don't want, if you're going through this and you don't have anybody else who's gone through it to talk to you about it, I want you to be able to watch this video and see what it's like and not feel alone. Because none of us are alone, okay? You feel alone sometimes, and sometimes I fucking want to be alone. I mean, I want to be alone a lot. But, you know, talk to me if you're going through this, okay? I don't want you to feel alone, because you're not, I promise. Okay, update. I think it's like 4 o'clock-ish, the 4 o'clock hour. We are home, and Dad is here. The ambulance brought him. It was, I mean, you could see my parents' yard. It was a little tricky to get him into the house, but paramedics brought him. He's in bed. Layla Grace is like snuggling with him and taking care of him, and he doesn't like the bed. He thinks he's at a really bad bed and breakfast because the bed is not comfortable like his home, like his bed upstairs, but he can't do stairs. So I just feel such a sense of relief having him home, and maybe this will change and we'll have to take him back to the hospital or to a hospice facility. But I just feel like so much more at peace right now. So that's the update. I'll keep giving more as the day goes on. Y'all, does anybody else have that big talk to me stranger energy? Because I have that. I have always had that. People just like to talk to me. Anyway, I was getting some corn. Went to Sorgel's. Sorgel's, yay! It's the local farm near my parents. And I think I was supposed to get something else that I forgot. No, they didn't have them. Never mind, we're good. I got my dad brownies. Yeah, so I was like minding my own business trying to put some corn in a bag, and this lady was like, have you ever microwaved corn? And I was like, not that I can recall, but it sounds like something I might have tried. You have to try it. And she like told me how to do it. She said, leave it in the husk and microwave it and then just cut the end off and then it's perfect. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, oh, thanks for the tip. I'll try it, which I might try it because like it's a lot of work to boil water if you only want like 1 corn cob. So I'll give it a shot. Anyway, then I'm going to get the peaches and she's like, you had their peaches here before? And I was like, yeah, we get their peaches all the time. That's why I'm here, because we were out of peaches. They ain't good. Yes, they're good. No, I come here all the time and I buy shitty peaches. Does this happen to anybody else? That like people you've never met before just like have whole ass conversations and recommendations with you? It happens to me all the time. Anyway, I have 2 more stops to make, so here I go. Okay, I'm home. I did all my errands, and to continue on my people just fucking talk to me, I'm wearing a Joshua Tree t-shirt. And yes, I've been wearing it for 2 days straight. Whatever. My life is chaos and crisis. And some guy was like, still haven't found what you're looking for, huh? And I was like, and he's like, your shirt. And I was like, and you're right. People just talk to me. Home, and Dad is sitting up in his wheelchair. He is watching TV, and I never thought that was gonna happen, so we will see what the night brings. Seriously, I'm trying to take a nice video, and the air conditioner kicks on. Good morning. It's Monday morning. So I look so tired. I didn't make coffee yet because I didn't want to wake anybody up. I just kind of got my water very quietly and came to sit outside. That's the air conditioner that's going so loud right behind me. Dad had a good night last night, until bedtime. He was up and he watched a movie with us, and we watched Rambo, which is maybe not the best idea to watch a war movie when he's been having war nightmares. But he wanted to watch it, so but he was like, there's a story from when I was a kid. I was like 2 or 3 when the second Rambo came out, and it was playing at the drive-in. My parents wanted to go see it, and they were like, but we don't know what to do with the baby. And my parents' friends were like, oh, well, no kid's interested in this movie. So what we did is we took our toddler to the drive-in, and then they just slept in the car and we got to watch the movie. So like, oh, okay, let's try that. And I did not do that. At the end of the movie, I was like jumping up and down in the back of the car, shouting, Rambo, Rambo, Rambo. So, in any case, I'd never seen the first one, I guess. But this, I don't remember the second one either. I just know this like story has been told over and over. And so, Dad wanted to watch Rambo, so we were watching it because it happened to be on. Like, it wasn't like he was like, let's watch Rambo. He was scrolling the TV. Oh, that's the other thing. Did I mention that? He wanted to get out of bed and sit in his wheelchair and be in the living room with the family. So they have like a living room and a family room. Okay, I lived in this house for 19 years, and I've like visited this house for 39 years. Well, 38, I guess. We didn't move in here until I was a year old. But I still don't know how Mom calls it family room versus living room. I don't know which one is which. Real talk. True confessions of Fox. I just know that one has a TV and one has my mom's computer and no TV. And the one that has the computer and no TV used to be the fancy room where the Christmas tree was, and our dog was not allowed on the carpet in there at first. Yeah. Welcome to the 80s. Anyway, now dogs are allowed in all rooms and on all furniture. It's a very different world. Oh, hi, baby. This is Black Kitty. Oh my goodness. Hi. Hello. Hello. We call him Piper Kitty. It's not his real name though. Hi. He's so precious. I just adore him. I would definitely adopt him if husband was not allergic. He's just kind of like neighborhood kitty cat. He was owned by the neighbors, my parents' neighbors, and they don't like really want him anymore, which kind of like let him free. But he's like he's a really good hunter, and so he doesn't want to be, he wants to be indoors to visit, but then he wants to be outside being wild and free. He's a very good hunter. Anyway, back to the story. So so Rambo. I'm like, maybe this is not a great, don't you jump in my planner. You thinking about it? You thinking about it? So anyway, it was on, so we watched it, and he was able to, he wanted to be in his wheelchair. He was like in bed when we brought him in, when the EMTs brought him in, and then he wanted to be in the wheelchair, and then so that way he could go between the rooms, because we were going to start cooking dinner, and he was like, well, I want to come in and watch TV. And we're like, okay. So we got him into it's all husband and mom. I'm not allowed to lift. So the two of them got him into his wheelchair and wheeled him into the TV room, which is either the living room or the family room, but I'm not sure which. And he, was scrolling TV, and we watched Rambo. And then after that was over, he wheeled himself into the dining room because he was like, I want a cookie. So we went in, got a cookie, and then we went back, and the three of us, mom and husband and me, made dinner, and Dad was like up the whole time, and he was talking, and he was telling the story, because I said, I don't think I've ever seen Rambo. He said, you saw two. And I was like, oh, I did. And then he was telling the story, but he didn't even remember the whole plot of the original Rambo too, also. And he was telling me the story. He's like, we took you to the drive-in, and we thought that you would behave, and you didn't behave. I was like, yes, that's about right. So he was like very with it, and he was very with it through dinner. He ate like half his dinner, which was pretty good for right now. And then by the end of dinner, he was starting to I don't know if you've ever heard the term sundowning, and it's like a term that's often used in Alzheimer's and dementia patients, where as it becomes dark out, their mental clarity starts to get a little sketchy. That was happening. But it was like he recognized that he was getting confused, because he was like, oh, these chairs look just like the chairs at our house. And Mom was like, we are at the house. Do you remember that we're at the house? And he was like, I think I should go to bed. And then just wheeled himself into the to the bed. So I'm really impressed that he was able to wheel himself around places. He has no leg strength at all, and we don't know if it's just muscle atrophy because he's been in bed so long at the hospital, or if it's the brain mets, like, and that's where they're pressing on a place that gives him no leg strength, or a combination of things. But he was able to, he had the strength to wheel himself. I mean, not like, he's not going to be competing in the wheelchair Olympics anytime soon, but he did pretty well. And he had good appetite. He wanted to eat a lot. He wants to eat a lot of sweets, which he's diabetic, and like in, the real world, it would not be a good idea, but end of life, you get what you want, Dad. You can have as many brownies as you want. I don't care, as long as you're happy. So it was much better than I expected. So I'll have to see. And then I went to bed. Mom slept on the couch next to him. So I will have to see. She's sleeping now. I didn't know if she'd be awake or not when I came downstairs. It was about 6:30 when I came down. I'll have to see the report of, like, was he restless overnight? Oh, that was the other thing. After dinner, we put him to bed, and then the three of us came in and like cleaned up the kitchen and tidied up a little bit, and then we decided to watch an old episode of John Oliver, and Dad heard us like laughing and watching TV, and so he was like trying to get up, and so husband went in and helped him and got him in the wheelchair, and he came in to watch TV with us for a little bit, and he only stayed up about half an hour at that point, and then went right back to bed. So I will get the report from Mom in the morning and see. I think he was up overnight, but I'll talk to her whenever she gets up. But I just if she's actually sleeping, I'm not bothering her. So anyway, that's the update. I'm sitting out on the porch. It's actually raining. I want to go for a little run today because I'm allowed to run. I was allowed to run like technically yesterday or the day before, but with just everything going on, it was just too much to even try to plan that. So I want to go for just like 2 miles this morning. I'm starting a challenge. Oh, great timing, I know, right? With Brianna from Diva and the Divine, if you ever follow her channel. I'll try to remember to link her channel below. But she's doing a 6-week small group challenge that I joined for. Part of the goal is to help people who have done Weight Watchers switch from points to macros. But I joined it just to kind of just wanted to have something that's a little bit of structure in my life right now while like everything is all over the place. So yeah, so that starts today. So I have to do like my measurements and my before photos. She's doing like a fat loss group, and she's doing a reverse diet group is the other thing. And so I signed up. You can switch, which I might end up doing. I signed up as the fat loss because I haven't been eating in a deficit, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But the thing is, I'm gonna have to try to get more protein in, which is like a good thing. I want to try to do that so that my body recovers more as I start ramping up race training, because race training and ultra training is coming soon now that I'm cleared to run again. So I'm glad we had a good day with Dad. I don't know what the next few days will bring, but I'm glad that he had his first day back was a good day. I mean, all things considered. So anyway, that's the check-in for today, and I'll update y'all later. Hey there, it's Monday afternoon. I am going for my first run since surgery. I'm at the nature center. See, back there. I'm gonna try to do 3 laps of the nature center, maybe 2. I wanna get about 2 miles, so we'll see. I'm gonna try it. Good morning, everybody. Tuesday morning. I'm just giving the daily check-in update. My little buddy is here. I'm begging for pets. As usual. Dad had mostly a good day yesterday. I don't remember the last time that I updated yesterday, but we watched some TV together. We actually watched this like hilarious Lifetime murder movie. It was like kind of cute. I said, "Do you want me to wheel you in?" Hold on, just truck coming very loudly. Okay, that took fucking ever for this truck to, I don't know what the hell they were doing. There's a dirt road here by my parents' house, and that's where their house used to be. They had the house next door, which we called the little house, and then they owned this property, and then in like 1982, well, I was like a year old already, so it must have been 1983, they had this house built. So anyway, that dirt road, there's still homes on it, and that's where, when I talk about the girls, Jeannie and Chrissy, their neighbors, that's where they live down there. But it's really a tight turn, so you can't, depending on the size of your car, you can't like come up it and make a left onto the main road here. So that was like a truck with a trailer attached to the back, going up to get their trash cans. But instead of just like, maybe take the trailer off your truck before you come up, they did the whole maneuvering, and they were like, anyway, yesterday, so Dad got up, he wanted to have a snack, and I said, do you want me to wheel you in and watch TV? And he said, yeah. So I put on Motor Trend, because he like loves that channel, and I like, some of it. I like Girl Garage. There's a show on there, it's all girls that run a garage, and they, as the name would imply, they, fix up cars and like, make improvements to cars and stuff. Anyway, he loves that channel, and so I'll watch that with him. So I put that on, and he goes, like, after we watched it for about 20 minutes, he's like, yeah, I don't have to watch this. We could watch something that you like. So he found this Lifetime movie, murder movie. It was so cheesy. It was called Psycho Yoga Instructor, and as the name implies, there was a psycho yoga instructor. But it was like, I love those dramatic things, so he did know what I like. So, we watched that, and then he got tired, so then he went back to bed for a while. My friend Allison, who's one of my girlfriends from the shelter, she is she's still currently a nurse, but she's a former hospice nurse, and so she came over. She's going to help out a little bit. Bless her so hard, because I have like such good friends. Like, I have really good people in my life, and I am so grateful for that every fucking day. So she's going to come over and help. So she's going to come over. She was like, everybody needs to take breaks sometimes, so I'm going to come over so that all of y'all can take breaks at some point. And I'm like, thank you. So she was over here maybe about an hour, and Dad was sleeping most of the time, and then she did get to meet him before she left. And, he was like, I'm glad you told me who she was, because I didn't know. Sorry, Dad. My friend Allison's, we didn't tell him that she was coming over because he was sleeping the whole time, so. He got up and had dinner with us, and then, he didn't stay. Last 2 nights ago, Sunday night, this was Monday night I'm talking about, Sunday night, he stayed up and watched TV with us after, and last night he didn't make it up for that. He was just too tired. He's still doing the Sundowning thing, and it always goes back to the same storyline, that he's been made to join the Navy, and he didn't want to join the Navy. I don't understand. My friend Brenna, her gram is in a nursing home now, and she has dementia, and she sundowns too. And so we were talking about it last night, and her gram, same kind of thing, like always goes back into the same story, which I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that there would be a consistent story that follows them every day. But she said, yeah, same thing with her gram. There's always like she has other like bits of confusion, which Dad does sometimes too. But when they go into like not knowing where they are, they think they're in the same other storyline. So, but he, again, like once that started happening, he just wanted to go back to bed. So I haven't gotten the report from Mom and husband yet about how he did overnight. I didn't hear anybody up last night. Doesn't mean that they weren't, but the night before when they had to get up and help him in the middle of the night, I did hear everybody, so we'll see when they get up. Today is my parents' 47th anniversary. They've been married 47 years today, and Dad had said in January, when the cancer came back, that he wanted to be here for their anniversary, so he is here for their anniversary. I hope he has a good, mostly lucid day. Mom wants to get dinner from somewhere tonight, so I was like, okay. I said, do you want us to be here, or do you want to have alone time? And she's like, no, I want the whole family to be together. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't realize my hair matches my shirt. This is the sun will keep shining, from Palm Springs. The start of the pandemic, it was like a fundraiser for restaurant and bar workers out there. Anyway, that's the update. Pretty pretty decent day. Mom had a rough time and we kind of just were like, go take care of yourself. That was what Allison said. She's like, you gotta make sure that your mom is taking care of herself. She's like, because you know how to do self-care and how to not go too far. She's like, and I don't think your mom does. But I was like, you are right. So we're trying to make sure we like encourage her to take breaks when she needs to, and you know, let us step in. So I did run yesterday for the first time too, so that was exciting. It went pretty well. I felt things felt a little jiggly inside my stomach area, but nothing hurt. It didn't hurt at all. It just felt like different. But it went well. So husband has a break at 10 or 10:30, so I'm gonna try to time my workout for then. And then I have an appointment at 1:30 to get my eyelashes. So, you know, I go every like 2 or 3 weeks to get my eyelashes touched up. So I'm gonna do that, and then that way I can go out and do like an errand of like, you know, get other supplies and whatever else we need at that point. So that's the plan. Today, while Dad's awake, you know, we'll hang out with him. I don't know if I can watch Hogan's Heroes though. It actually was like, it was fine. I was just like, old sitcoms I'm not a huge fan of, so, but it was fine. He, you know, he wanted to watch that, so we did. But he was like sharp enough, and he was like, oh, this is from the 60s. I was like surprised at the quality. Like it's a well shot show for being 1965. You wouldn't think that, but anyway, so we'll, you know, hang out with him. What I would really love is to be able to get a ramp, because they have one big step here. And if we could get a ramp for that one big step, we could wheel him out onto the porch and he could sit here. So when home nursing calls, and if they don't call, we have to call them this morning because they were supposed to call us last night. I'm going to ask them if we can get like a small ramp and see if that would work. It's just one step that it's like too big of a step to just like wheel him down, like to just carry him down, you know, without him like falling out of the chair. So we don't want to do that for sure. So we do need definitely a ramp. That would be so nice to be able to sit out on the porch. So we'll see. We might get thunderstorms the next couple days, so we'll see how that goes too. And I go back to work tomorrow, so I have a little bit of anxiety about that, about not being here all day. But we'll see. And that is the update for today. We'll check in later. One more thing. I did start my 6-week challenge with Brianna from Diva and the Divine yesterday. So I am going to be, I will be talking about that and filming about that, but I'm going to do those in separate videos because I don't want anybody, like, you know, if anybody doesn't want to hear about diet or weight loss or anything like that, I would like to have that in a separate video so you just, you know, don't have to watch that video. I don't want to put it in the middle of the vlogs. So that started yesterday. So I will be doing updates on that. I don't know what day I'll put those out. I mean, my life right now is just so, so tough. But we'll see. And also the world is like in really bad crisis right now. And I just like, my mom and I both have a tendency, and Dad too, to want to read the news and stay informed. And then we start watching the news or reading the news and we start getting like super overwhelmed. And so everything that's going on in Afghanistan right now is like, we want to stay informed, but it's just so much. And it's just so unclear what like the right answer is or was. And I don't know. So we're trying to watch it, but it's just like, wow, just so heartbreaking. And I don't know what we can do to be helpful besides just stay informed at this point. So it's been I do believe in this alternate timeline meme that I saw. Somebody said in 2012, when the Mayan calendar said the world would end, but it didn't. It really did. And we're living in an alternate timeline. And that's why everything since 2012 doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, 2012, yeah, that's the last time things made total sense. Bad things started happening in 2013. Interesting. So I just feel like there's so much, like every day there's so much, and it's not stopping. So, I mean, there's so much in my personal life right now with my dad and my surgery recovery too. But there's so much else too, and it's just hard to fucking balance everything, you know? So anyway, that's the other update, is that I will be doing like, I didn't take video yesterday because everybody was like up and about when I was eating. But I was going to do like a what I eat in the week on this plan kind of video. But I will do that as a separate video. So that way, you know, if you don't want to hear about that kind of stuff, then you don't have to. It won't like just sneak up on you in the middle of the vlog. So that's the update for that. So now I'm going to go back to working on my bullet journal, and I'll check in later. Good girl. Come on. Come on. Keep walking. There we go. There we go. So Layla and I are out for a walk because I was supposed to go for a run. I was getting ready. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom before I run, and there's no water. Apparently there's a water main break somewhere further down the road. We called the water company, and they're working on it, but we don't know when the water will come back on. So I can't go for a run if I can't shower before my eyelash appointment at 1:30. So it's good times. There's my baby. Dad is up. He actually stood up on his own today, which is the first time he has stood up on his own since 2 weeks, maybe? Come on, baby. So that was like amazing. But he watched TV. He's like having conversations, doing really well. You're not pooping again, are you? No. Okay. Yeah, he's very like with it right now. So it's good. It's a good day. Very pleasant surprise. He's got a lot of energy. He had a good night's sleep. Everybody else got a good night's sleep, so we're doing well today. We're in a very big hurry to go home, and I don't know why. Layla, what's wrong, sweetie? You okay? What's wrong? Okay. Okay, we're going. Mommy can't go any faster than this. I don't know what's going on. My saga of people I don't know talking to me continues. I just came up to the fire hall. You can kind of see that's where I am. And they have this, let me see. See that? Right there? That's full of corn. And yesterday, Jeannie and Chrissy brought some down, and it was really good. So it's just like, I don't know where it came from. It's just corn. It's just corn that's on a truck at the fire department. And you just put some dollars. There's no amount. It's just a donation for corn. It's just you put what you have. So I got some corn. The ones that they gave us yesterday, we ate last night, and they were like chef's kiss, really good. So I'm gonna go home and make some elotes. And I have 5 ears of corn, and I got 6 more, or 7 more, or 8 more. Some amount. I forget how many I put. But anyway, I'm like there putting corn in my bag, and this guy's like, what's the deal here? And I'm like, it's corn, and you put dollars in the little thing, and then you take corn and you put it in your car. And he's like, well, how much is the situation? How often did they drop it off? I'm like, dude, I don't know. My neighbors brought me corn yesterday, and it was really fucking good, and I wanted more, so I came back today. But he's like, oh, you know what? I'll tell you what I know about corn farmers. But I was like, what do you know about corn farmers? So what he knows about corn farmers is how they plant and harvest their corn. So that was some information I didn't know. So he said that probably today it was the row over from yesterday. So we gotta hope today's row is as good as yesterday's. I don't even know. People just see me and they're just like, this broad wants to talk to me. So anyway, he said it's a good time of the year for produce, and I said it sure is. So we've been eating a lot of fresh produce. I'm gonna make the elotes. We're getting takeout tonight because it's my parents' anniversary, and then I'm gonna make some, just pan fry some zucchini and squash, because Jeannie and Chrissy also brought over, when they brought this corn, they brought homemade raspberry jam, which I haven't tried yet, and I think I'm gonna make a toast of that and try it. I haven't had lunch yet. It's 4:15, and I like have not done my life yet today. So I did get my eyelashes done. So anyway, people talk to me. It's good stuff, and produce is good. So I'm gonna make some food when I get home. I got all the groceries done for like the 15th time. We don't grocery shop the same, my parents and me, and it makes me a little crazy. Here we go. Wednesday morning update. I am at work. I'm not in my car outside of work, but it's my first day back to work since my surgery, and I'm so nervous what I'm walking into after being off for 10 days, so we will see. Our DMB warehouse tickets arrived today. This is what it looked like. They set it on the ground instead of in the mailbox. They set it on the ground in a puddle. This is what the FedEx looked like. This is the envelope that the tickets came in. Yeah, it's that wet. Like, it's, yeah. Awesome. The tickets, thankfully, are okay. I'm not going to show them, but the tickets are okay. Amazingly. The bottom and the top were wet, but everything's out and good. Everybody, it's Thursday night. I got the call that Dad's officially moving on to hospice, and I don't know how much longer it's going to be, so I'm leaving work right now and headed over there, and then we'll see how things go. It moves so fast, so suddenly. So I'll check in again. Hey everybody, Fox from the future here. This vlog has been kind of all over the place, and I had fully planned to film more after that last clip that you saw when we found out that Dad was being moved onto hospice, and then the next 3 days moved so strangely in time. A really good friend of mine whose dad passed back in March, I think it was in March. We had been talking because he had been on home hospice as well, and I was asking like for advice. I feel like I would like to talk more about the experience of home hospice than I'm going to have time for in this little clip right here, but it was excellent. I mean, home hospice was wonderful, but they're not there 24 hours a day. You have to have family members that can do I'm trying to find a comfortable way to hold my phone here. You have to have family members who can do like the physical lifting and things like that. So we were really grateful that husband was able to do that. But my friend had said to me, you know, I was asking her like what to expect and what's the experience of home hospice going to be like. And she said it moves very fast and very slow, too quickly and too slowly all at the same time. And I think that's a pretty accurate description of what happened. Dad, so Thursday night he was placed on hospice. And Thursday night my friend Allison, who was a former hospice nurse, came and sat with us. And she was basically like evaluated and assessed where he was and said, you know, he probably has about 3 or 4 more days where he was like in the process. And so that night we just kind of all stayed with him and talked to him, and he was still like coherent and lucid pretty much that night, pretty much most of the day Friday. But he had radiation on his back for his hip. He had like a couple little minor fractures from the cancer. So they did radiation for 5 days while he was inpatient back in July. And it was fine, like when it happened, didn't give him any side effects or bother him at all. And then after the fact, he developed this big rash on his back from where the radiation went in, and it was like violently itchy. So Thursday night we just put on his favorite music. We just played like all his favorite CDs, and we just talked and hung out and kept like the lighting low and peaceful, and like it was very nice. Friday the hospice nurse came for the first time to do the full workup and evaluation, and then he was having this terrible itching at that time. So he was really, really restless, but we thought it was mostly related to this itching from this rash. So she got him an antihistamine, and then it's called the Comfort Care package from hospice. And so that has Haldol, which is something that you use for agitation and restlessness, Ativan or lorazepam, which is an anti-anxiety medication, and then morphine for pain, but also for sleep and comfort. And then they also have in there, let's see, what else am I missing? They have Tylenol suppositories because at the end of life your temperature can spike. And then hyoscyamine, which is an anticholinergic, which they give for, it's called terminal secretions. If you've ever heard the term death rattle, which is like when the fluid and stuff starts to build up in your chest and it like makes a rattling sound. Dad never had that. That never actually happened with him. It can happen with, for the last day or so for some people. So they give that medication to kind of calm that down and slow down those secretions. So, but that's was in the package. And so then she got us like onto a schedule of when to do the dosing because he was so agitated. And we thought it was like maybe related mostly to the itching from this rash. So, Friday I had all my friends and family, I posted on Facebook and had them send, like memories or like, you know, thoughts for Dad. And so Friday night, same thing, once the sun started to go down, we all like gathered around the bed with him and we played music that he loved. And I read through all of these memories and I was like bawling my eyes out trying to read them because some of them were like my best friend growing up, like who had gone on vacation with us, like my other best friend from high school, like all these people who like I had spent so much time with when we were kids, who like had spent so much time with my parents as a result, you know. So it was really sweet. That was a really nice thing. I highly recommend, you know, if you know a loved one is going to be passing, doing something like that. So, and actually on Saturday, my mom had sent to, so my dad went to like a really small high school, like even smaller than my high school. And I guess their mascot was the Tomcats. It was St. Thomas was the name of the school. So they called themselves the 68 Tomcats. And they have this like very close-knit group still after all these years. And they'd go to the reunions together and everything. So they're all very close-knit group. And so my mom posted on, like earlier in the week that he was moving on to hospice and not doing well. And so their like class president who still coordinates stuff sent out this email burst to everybody. And so on Saturday we got all these cards, like dozens of cards from everybody who was still around from his class. And so on Saturday, she read the cards to him. They say that hearing is the last thing to go. So if you have a loved one who is in the active stages of dying, they say that hearing is the last thing to go and they can hear you up until the end. So even if they can't respond to you, that's okay. You keep talking to them, keep playing their favorite music, you know, keep being present with them. So that's basically what we did. We just kind of did like immersion therapy, was that what they call it? So I've talked several times on this channel, my aspirations in life is to be an end-of-life doula. So I read a book, I don't have it here to show you. It's called Caring for the Dying. It's by the person who's the founder of INELDA, which is the International End-of-Life Doula Association, which is where I will eventually get my certification once they're back in person. I was planning to do it in 2020 and then pandemic. But anyway, so they, you know, one of the things that a doula would do is is to plan a vigil. And so the vigil is like when you, in the person's final days, when someone just like sits with them basically 24 hours. And, you know, ideally you would plan the vigil with the dying person before they are, like once they're, you know, they know that they're terminal. Ideally you would plan it with them in advance. And so they would be what they want, what their wishes were. With something like what happened with my dad, where there was a very sudden and unexpected cognitive decline because of the brain tumors. I just kind of made it up on the fly, but we basically did like a modified version of a vigil since he was officially moved on to hospice on Thursday night. And, you know, just someone was with him 24 hours a day in the room or, you know, right next to him there, talking to him, playing music, you know, keeping the lights low, just kind of keeping him company. And then Saturday, the agitation got really bad and he could not rest at all. I mean, he was tossing and turning. He was like pulling at the blankets, pulling at his shirt, pulling at the bed rail. I mean, everything, because we had bed rails so that he didn't fall out of bed because he was so restless. And he was just, I mean, fitful, and nobody got any sleep. The only time that he was calm was like a couple of times when we were like in there, like reading to him or talking to him directly, but like, and nobody could sleep because as soon as we tried to sleep, even sleeping in the same room, he was just, so restless. So on Sunday, the hospice nurse that came in was like, we got to get these meds adjusted. There's no way he can't function like this. This is just like hard to watch. So she made some med adjustments, and then finally he was able to rest, and he slept the whole day. And that night he passed. On Sunday, this was August 22nd, he passed just before 9 p.m. and it was the full moon, which my mom and I thought was super fitting because we love full moons. You saw my little video of the start of full moon weekend. So in the end, it was really peaceful. We were just all sitting vigil, and I was chatting on my phone with my friend Abby, who lost her dad about 1.5 years ago, or maybe last summer of 2019. It might be 2 years at this point. But he had died of small cell lung cancer as well, and we had talked, a number of times about stuff. So I was like chatting with her, and we were just in the room, and I put on one of my dad's favorite mixtapes that he had made of like classical music that he loved, and we were just kind of sitting there keeping him company and sitting vigil, and I noticed that his breathing was starting to change. So I just kind of called everybody over to the bed, and we just all were there, and we were able to be, touching him and talking to him. And, I just told him, I said, when Spirit, y'all know I'm weird about religion and spirituality and that kind of stuff. And I just kind of said, Spirit, send his parents to come get him, because both of his parents have died. I said, Dad, look for your mom and dad. They're going to be there waiting for you. And all these other people who've passed, who love you, will be there. And Jamie and Piper and Lucy, our old dogs, and Lady, they'll all be there waiting for you. And just when you see them, it's okay to just go to them. And it was really peaceful. Sorry. I have not really cried very much in the last couple days. I'm filming this, over a week later. And I've been holding together really well. But it comes in fits and starts, and so talking about this is kind of hard, but I didn't want to not talk about it. But it was really peaceful, and then afterwards you call the hospice nurse. They come back and they do the official pronouncement, check the heartbeat. If you had a doula there who was sitting vigil, they could do that too. That's one of the certifications that you do as a doula. So they do the heartbeat, and then they call the coroner. And here's the crazy thing. So she calls the coroner, and she's on hold. It's ringing. And finally somebody picks up, and they're like, I'm so sorry. How many times have you called trying to get through? And she's like, this is my first time calling. Why? And he said, we have 15 messages. We're so backed up. And I'm like, everybody chooses to die on the full moon. Don't tell me that the full moon doesn't have power. So then the funeral home that we use, Dad's didn't want a funeral. We're not doing a funeral. We didn't even do an obituary. He just wanted to be low key, and we're going to plan a celebration of life probably next year hopefully once COVID is over. But so it was actually one of his classmates that he was friends with, is who we use as the funeral director. So he was very nice, and he sent people to come pick up the body, and then the hospice nurse helped me get rid of the extra medications that we had, and do all the final paperwork and everything, make the arrangements for the home health to come and take away the supplies and everything like that. So it's a little bit, there's a lot that goes on in the last, after the person passes. Hospice nurses are just so exactly what I expected them to be, and exactly what I always tell my patients that they are, but I never actually worked with them like this before. So I was glad to know I was accurate. But yeah, I miss my dad so much already, and I'm just so fucking grateful that he was able to be home with us, and that we were able to all be there when he passed, that he didn't pass overnight, that we were all present in the room. In the morning on Sunday, he was in and out of knowing what was going on, but in the morning he had about an hour of really, he didn't have any energy. Sometimes people will say that you will get a burst of energy in that final day. He didn't have that, but he had a solid hour of being very lucid again. And he told my mom he loved her, but he is his voice was shot from the brain mets, just destroyed his voice. his vocal cords. Like he could barely talk. Like he could whisper. It sounded like he was like had laryngitis for like a month straight. And he said that he loved my mom. And he said, "I love you." And it sounded like "loaf you." And it was like so adorable. And then I came in to sit with him in the morning on Sunday. And he said, "There's my daughter." And I was like, "Yeah, Dad, I'm here. What do you need?" And he said, "I need to tell you that I'm dying." And I was like, "Dad, I know." I said, "It's okay." And I don't know how much he knew and didn't know at the end, because the brain mets were fucking terrible. Like, I would never wish brain cancer, brain tumors related secondary to another cancer, or Alzheimer's on, like, even my worst enemy. Like, no, like, it's just terrible. But he did have a good, hour in the morning, and I know he knew that we were there, and I know that he could sense that we were there and hear us talking to him, So, 0 out of 10, do not recommend a parent dying. 10 out of 10 do recommend home hospice if it has to happen. So yeah, so that's the final update about my dad that I will do. I feel really sad about that. Y'all know I love my dad. I will always love my dad. He was one of my best friends. He always believed in me. I was so, like, more patient with me than I deserved sometimes. But he was just the best dad in the world. And I'm glad that we were able to be there with him when he passed. It's a small service to do for a lifetime of love, So, that's the final update. I know this is a long vlog, but once we knew we were in the final week, I felt like it just made sense to just keep going and not, do my normal Tuesday break on it. So this was really long, but thank you for watching. Thank you already for I did post a plan with me already, talking about this, and I really appreciate all the outpouring of love and support that has happened since then already. So thank you, everybody. This is the hardest post I'll ever make, I think, until somewhere 40 years down the line when Mom dies. 40 years, Mom. You have to stick it out until you're over 110. But yeah, the hardest thing I've ever had to post about. But I know I love to talk about grief, so this will not be the end of me talking about grief, that's for sure. So thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, take care of yourself and take care of each other. And I'll see you in my next video.